The new season of Fairy Tail has come and it covers the final arc of the series. As you can see, you still get your fair share of plot, but they also managed to keep the elements that we all know and love, such as the great soundtracks as well as the emotion-filled fight scenes. Overall, if you're a fan of the show and already invested in the characters, then it is definitely worth a watch. However, in terms of recommendation, I would leave it at just that. The anime requires a lot of time to be put in, and personally, there are a lot of higher quality anime that could be watched in the meanwhile, or more well-made long shonen series. Jojo Part 5, the continuation we've all been waiting for since the moment the last episode of Part 4 ended. This part of Jojo picks up on the action in a new light with the bright character Giorno. He intelligently makes his way through the streets of Italy, and continues this throughout the series with the rest of the team that he comes across. There are many well thought out mind games and battles, so I would definitely recommend watching this series and catching up. Many memes and references come from the show, and being in on it is one of the many benefits to picking it up. The show starts off with a light-hearted character, but a certain betrayal at the start quickly turns him into a cold-hearted and ruthless person who has lost his trust for anyone in this world. Despite this attitude, he still has the kindness inside of him which he expresses regularly towards the teammates that he acquires. He has various techniques that he obtains throughout the series, but one move in particular stood out for me. The other skills may make your day, but this skill will make your whole week. If you are a fan of the Isekai genre, then you may want to pick this up. The mentality of the main character was what brought me to continue watching it after checking it out, but in terms of the overall quality, I think that there are other anime that I would rather recommend. Many of you may have given up on this series after the ending of the first arc of Season 1, which was an acceptable choice. However, the series has now been resurrected with this season, as we are introduced to a new world that is like none of the others. Using the technology of a flux light, the members of this world are given a very realistic and human-like personality. The development of these characters is well done, through exploration and training, as well as intense and sometimes emotional battles. They did well to use some of the original soundtracks, which brought nostalgia as well as epicness to the fighting scenes. And the invisible glue that kept the plot together was also an interesting aspect to say the least. Overall, I would definitely recommend giving SAO a second chance with this show. Kakigori XX. More mind games, more interesting facial expressions, more gambling, and most importantly, more of Jabami Yumiko. Because who didn't like her? Kakigori XX is a well-made continuation of the series and keeps all the aspects that we liked from the first season. It keeps the balance well between serious and funny moments, and I would definitely recommend picking it up. Another Isekai anime. Well, it looks like we won't be rid of them for quite some time. Here we follow the life of a guy who became a slime. He acquires many abilities through the means of consumption, making himself a formidable foe. However, despite this, he always looks for the most peaceful resolution when in the midst of a potential conflict. Using this, he is able to build his own village that grows very nicely. This anime is definitely light-hearted and wholesome, and has many funny moments. If you're not looking to take an anime seriously, and are a fan of the Isekai genre, then take a shot at this series. Every season needs a sports anime, especially an action-packed one, and what could have more than that than a sumo anime? A short guy named Hinamaru accidentally stumbles upon a no-name school, and joins them with the goal to transform it into one of the best, if not the best, high school for sumo. Particularly for himself individually, his goal is to become the best high school sumo wrestler in Japan, namely, the high school Yokozuna. There are many fight scenes to see here, all intense and action-filled. If you're looking for a sports anime with just that, then try this out. Mob Psycho, a very hyped up anime that is loved by all. Before I get into this, I want to remind you of my disclaimer that this is just my view. Personally, the pacing of the second season was quite boring, and it only really picked up near the end of the 8th episode. He was introduced with this mechanism of percentage values for his mentality, and it was only properly utilized very late into this season. However, following this episode, the anime really picks up and becomes something completely different to the first 2/3 of the story. Lots of exciting fights, with the intensity of Mob's temper showing through very well. In short, if you're a fan of the series, then you're welcome to watch it from the beginning, but otherwise I would say skipping to the end of episode 8 would make it a very enjoyable, short and sweet experience. Another series that is getting a lot of traction is Dororo. It follows a child and a man who was born without any limbs, or eyes, or ears, or a face. Yeah, he has it rough. But instead, he is able to see the difference between humans and demons, as well as fight the latter with the aid of prosthetics. I personally have taken a break from the series as it reached a slump somewhere in the middle, but I'm looking to continue it, maybe when the series ends, and see if it brings the pace back up to par. Absolutely brilliant. If you haven't watched this already, then go and watch it right now. Well, watch the rest of the video at least. It follows children that live in an orphanage, where they are all living their lives to the fullest, are happy and content. Or as it seems. when in reality, there is a deep and dark secret to this orphanage, and upon discovering it, the oldest and brightest of the children want out of this place. But to do it, they need to move forward utilizing very intricate and calculated plans, with extreme caution so as not to be stopped by the mother of the house. This secret is really well thought out, and links to real life in many ways. The show is full of mind games, plot twists, and cliffhangers that will leave you on the edge of your seat after each episode, desperate to see what happens next. I wouldn't be surprised if you act like me upon finishing the anime, and instantly binge read the manga just to see more. I'm still getting withdrawal symptoms from waiting 1 week for the next chapter. Ultimately, I would highly recommend watching this show, as it is definitely the best standalone anime that I've seen in quite a while. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. I'm definitely looking forward to making more anime related videos in the future. So if you're interested, then feel free to subscribe to my channel and tick the bell to be notified of any content I post.